Good afternoon, graduands, family and friends, and welcome to this very special occasion here at the Guildhall, Southampton. It's my huge pleasure in my role as Pro-Chancellor and Presiding Officer today to declare open this ceremony for the conferment of awards. Today, we're celebrating you as graduands from the Faculty of Engineering and Physical Sciences and, more specifically, from the School of Electronics and Computer Science. On behalf of the university and my colleagues here with us, may I offer my warmest congratulations to you all. As an engineer myself and with a background that includes electronics and computer science, I'm especially pleased to have the privilege of awarding you your degrees today. You're all high achievers. You chose to study in a challenging and constantly evolving field. You reached the high entry standards for this fine university, and now you have completed your studies. You've been examined on your knowledge, and you are about to graduate. Savor this special occasion. It will stay with you for the rest of your lives. I don't expect it's been easy, of course it's not supposed to be, but I do hope that your experience of learning here at Southampton has been truly satisfying and enjoyable. And I mean that in every sense. I include your studies, of course, but also the lifelong friends I'm sure that you will have made and all the experiences you will have had. You will have taken up many new activities, some that you will continue to do. And maybe you've done a few things that you would rather not repeat. I wonder. But that's all part of the student experience. You're going to be leaving here changed by your experience. Your knowledge and your skills will be massively enhanced. You will have confidence in yourselves and in your ability, and you're now ready for whatever comes next. I hope, too, that you will leave here with a love of learning. You will continue to learn in everything that you do. The knowledge you now have within your discipline is but a beginning. Nothing stands still, and change happens sometimes at extraordinary pace. And indeed, many of the jobs that you will be doing in a few years' time don't exist yet. I can give an extreme example. I studied engineering sciences a long time ago, I must admit. We had one single computer at my university, and we had to share it with a university in the next city. The Department of Engineering had an electronic calculator. That's one calculator, and it had a room to itself. I mention this just to illustrate the scale of technological change in one working lifetime. It's hardly believable, so be prepared and embrace it. Sometimes the future can look a little bit daunting, and too often the news looks rather depressing, but that's always the case. So be optimistic, be positive, and be determined, because you are ready to play a significant role in whatever field you end up in. It might not happen immediately, but you can start to make a difference really quite quickly. And I know this because I've seen many graduates join the workplace over my career who've done just that. I'd like to share 3 final thoughts with you as you move on to the next phase of your lives. My first is not to think or worry too much about the long term. Of course, you have to make sensible preparations. You need to focus on your work, but also focus on your life and enjoying and giving your very best to both. Seek and take opportunities. Of course, you must think about it rationally, but you really don't want to regret an opportunity that you've allowed to pass. And finally, ask yourself, just periodically, if you are making a difference. Because I think that point is the most important. It's a privilege to study in a world-class institution like this one, and it provides you with opportunities that many people simply don't have. But that privilege also brings responsibility. I'm talking of the responsibility to use the advantage for which you've worked so hard for the benefit of others in some way. Ask yourself if this is true periodically, and if you are making a difference. And you will find, as I have done, that real fulfillment comes not from earning a decent salary, important though that is, but in doing things that are genuinely worthwhile. And the challenges in the world in which we live, from reducing our impact on the world's resources to improving health and well-being and using technology as a force for good, need talented people like you. You are now the future. But this is your day today, the culmination of all that hard work. Thank you for all you've put into this journey and for doing yourselves and the university proud. So let's continue with today's celebrations by welcoming you into the next stage of your lives. Here's to you, our students, our graduands, very soon to be our graduates, and our alumni. You are also our future. Have fun today, soak it in, celebrate, and my warmest congratulations to you all. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Spearing, Vice President for Research and Enterprise here at the University of Southampton, and I have the honour of being the orator for our honorary graduate today. Sir Christopher Maxwell Snowdon, FRS, is an eminent electronic engineer, business and academic leader, and most notably was President and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Southampton. Chris was born and raised in East Yorkshire. His upbringing was comfortable, but certainly not privileged. His father was a Royal Engineer during the Second World War, then trained as an accountant and ran an accountancy business. His mother was a dental nurse before becoming a full-time mother to Chris and his brother. His parents fueled Chris's academic talents. He remembers receiving books and being challenged by his father at mental arithmetic. He attended the local junior school and the new comprehensive, Cottingham High School. Chris remembers its impressive laboratory facilities, particularly. He also recalls that some of his fellow pupils were less interested in education than he was, and that at times it could be quite rough. Chris learnt to keep his head down and not advertise his academic interests too widely. Chris enjoyed science, but even more the opportunity to make things in the technical workshop. He built an analog computer, which was capable of integration and differentiation, which impressed his teachers and introduced him to electronics. He had very good teachers and fondly remembers Mr. Gaskin for physics, Mr. Norman Hunter for chemistry, and particularly Miss Beeston, who was inspirational and persuaded Chris of his ability in mathematics. Although he found chemistry interesting, Chris decided that engineering, and particularly electronics, would be his path. He applied to Cambridge and won a place to study engineering, but turned it down, favouring the University of Leeds and its electronics degree. His headmaster, Mr. Wiley, was furious with him for turning down Cambridge and never spoke to him again. He enjoyed Leeds. Practical work was a highlight. Lectures were a mixed bag, with some of them, notably in electromagnetics, being terrible. This instilled a lifelong passion for the importance of good teaching. After graduation, he worked for Philips, the electronics company, in its Mullard laboratory. He enjoyed 2 years there, but realised there was a demand for more specialist expertise than his general electronics degree provided. He identified microwave engineering as an interesting area with exciting applications in telecommunications and space systems. So he left Philips for a new master's programme run jointly by the universities of Sheffield and Leeds. This was intense and very mathematical. Chris did well and was recognised by Vernon Morgan and Mike House, who became his PhD supervisors, for a project sponsored by a telecoms company, Racal. Early in his doctorate, Chris had the insight that one of the major blocks to improving the design of microwave devices was their nonlinearity and difficulty in predicting their performance. He decided to develop a nonlinear numerical simulator for microwave transistors as a key element of his PhD. Working with Racal, his designs were fabricated, which allowed him to demonstrate the accuracy of his simulator. This work was the basis of his fellowship at the Royal Society 25 years later. He intended to work in industry following his PhD, but an opportunity arose to start as a lecturer in a new electronics department at the University of York. Everything was new and it was hard work. Chris developed 6 new courses in his first year. It was a brutal experience. After 18 months, an opportunity arose back at Leeds. Notwithstanding the experience at York, Chris had always loved teaching and enjoyed developing hands-on projects and laboratory courses for the students. He continued to work with industry and to undertake research across a wide range of topics in microwave engineering. He worked particularly with Marcom in the USA, developing components for radar used in the F-15 and F-18 combat aircraft. He had been recruited by the company to help with some difficult problems that were limiting their progress. He was instantly successful, using his now very fast simulator to crack a design problem within a morning that the company had been struggling with for over a year. Some of the components that Chris designed are still in production, which is unusual in such a fast-moving sector. He continued at Leeds, being promoted to professor in 1992 and then head of department. However, the experiences of working with industry were hugely satisfying to Chris. In 1998, he became director of technology at Filtronic, a company making radio frequency devices, subsequently becoming its CEO. The company prospered and grew under his leadership. He expanded its manufacturing capability by acquiring fabrication facilities, including one that Fujitsu had recently built for £750 million for a mere 20 million. Chris viewed this as a particularly good deal. He's ever the frugal son of Yorkshire. When he left the company, production exceeded 300 million chips a year with manufacturing yields above 97%. Family has always been very important to Chris. He met Irena when he returned from the USA. They were married within a year and have 2 sons. Chris continues to take immense interest and pride in his son's progress and achievements. He is also forever grateful to Irena for all the support that she continues to provide. In his words, she has been a rock in my career. While Chris was enjoying success at Filtronic and there were opportunities to move overseas, marriage and parenthood persuaded him that his future was in the UK. He became the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Surrey in 2005, which he led successfully until 2015, culminating with Surrey being named as University of the Year in the Good University Guide. Significant personal recognition also came to Chris. He was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society in 2005. He was President of the Institution of Engineering and Technology and then Vice President of the Royal Academy of Engineering, and was knighted in 2012. He was elected the President of Universities UK in 2013 and appointed the Chair of the selection panel for the Queen Elizabeth Prize in 2016. In 2014, Southampton were actively looking for a new Vice-Chancellor. There was a desire for change. The university had drifted down in UK and international league tables, and there was a sense that it was underperforming in an increasingly competitive sector. Even before any advertisements were placed, the progress that Surrey had made was frequently mentioned in university council meetings. Chris was very thorough in his approach to securing the position at Southampton, this including attending incognito with his wife and university-age sons a Southampton Open Day to allow Chris to understand how we presented ourselves. His deep analysis of Southampton and clear recommendations for action bowled over the appointment committee, and he was announced as our next Vice-Chancellor in March of 2015. Unfortunately, over the Easter following his appointment, Chris suffered a serious accident. He fell from a ladder while cutting a hedge at his home in Surrey. This resulted in life-changing injuries and a 3-week medically induced coma. It remains extraordinary, but no surprise to all who know Chris well, that he battled through this considerable adversity and took up his position at Southampton in the autumn of 2015. He oversaw the development of a clear, powerful strategy that emphasized excellence in all that we did. This resulted in improvements in all our rankings. Chris also recognized the need to invest in the estate to improve the attractiveness of the university, coupled with the opportunity afforded by the low interest rates of the time. A £300 million bond was secured with a AAA rating from Moody's, which has enabled subsequent major investments in our infrastructure. Unfortunately, Chris's health remained affected by his accident, and he announced that he would step down in March 2019 after an all-too-short 3.5-year term. Those of us who were with Chris during this time recognize the challenges that he overcame and the heavy heart with which he left us. His legacy has allowed the university to continue to thrive and grow. His analytical approach and focus has endured in our current strategy, and he has left his mark on the university's estate. In summary, Sir Christopher Snowdon is an extraordinary man who has excelled in engineering, business, and academic leadership. He is a devoted husband and father who led this university with distinction while demonstrating incredible resilience through adversity. Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present Sir Christopher Snowdon as eminently worthy of the degree of Doctor of Sciences, honoris causa.
Pro-Chancellor, faculty members, graduates, families and friends and members of the university. It's a very great honour for me to be able to share this ceremony with you and to receive this honorary degree from the University of Southampton. I thank the university for this very great honour and genuinely appreciate the award and kindness extended to me. Thank you, Professor Spearing, for your very kind words. Having been a Vice-Chancellor, I used to be the one awarding degrees, so it's exciting for me to be receiving one on this occasion. Most importantly, it's also a chance for me to celebrate your well-deserved successes with you as graduates. I'm a father of 2 sons, as you heard, who graduated a few years ago, so I've sat in the audience and felt the same enormous sense of pride as parents here today. And I might add, a certain sense of relief that I suspect is also felt around the hall today. I've been fortunate to have a career that spans both academia and industry and to work internationally in these sectors. This has allowed me to work in different organisations and in different cultures. I would like to share with you what I've learned throughout my career and to offer some thoughts for you to consider. So, what would you expect and look for in your life ahead as graduates? I graduated as an engineer in the 1970s, but there's probably never been a better time to graduate in the subjects you studied, as the Pro-Chancellor said a few minutes ago. If you pursue a career in technology, you'll probably be amongst the best rewarded, and not just financially, but in terms of doing a stimulating and creative job, which is essential for today's society. Of course, you may decide to explore other disciplines in your career. And in this respect, don't let the UK offer geographic limitations either. The world is your oyster now. But you should expect much more. One of the most valuable things is curiosity and desire to be creative. Never stop learning. Be open-minded about trying new things and sharing new experiences. My most important piece of advice I offer to graduates is to make sure that you differentiate yourself from the rest and stand out from the crowd. I realised this in my very first job at Philips, again as the Pro-Chancellor said, and I made sure that I developed my career and seized opportunities that helped me to have an enjoyable, fulfilling, and sometimes challenging roles. You will need to be resilient, persevere, and grab the opportunities that arrive. Above all, be yourself. All of us graduates here today owe a great deal to our families, friends, and the university. So before I finish today, I would like to express my personal special gratitude for the support of my family, and in particular, my wife, Irena, who has always been there for me, encouraging me, and at times helping me to see the right way forward. I know I would not be standing here today if it had not been for her, so a very special thank you, Irena. I wish all of you graduating today every success in the future. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, graduands and family and friends. My name is Professor Tim Norman, and I'm head of the School of Electronics and Computer Science. Pro-Chancellor, I submit to you the candidates from the Faculty of Engineering and Physical Sciences for the awards of Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Science, Master of Engineering, Master of Philosophy, Master of Science, and Doctor of Philosophy. The names of the candidates from the School of Electronics and Computer Science are shown in the programme, and I ask that you admit them to their degrees.
I admit them, and those in absentia, to their awards.
Pro-Chancellor, I present to you the following Bachelors of Engineering. Aswathi Ajay Kumar. George Bossons. Owen Davis. Kushik Hariharan. Alicia Johnson. Naden Nedev. Arthur Hawa. Abdullah Ayodi Shiu. Yuye Song. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you the following Bachelors of Science. William Payne. Leon Max Alfrey. Mohammed Al-Shabu. Alejandro Andino Martinez. Chaitanya Badva. Jack Barrett. Ali Belloni. Yun Yao Chen. Mitali Chavan. Jia Ji Chen. Luian Chen. Jack Alexander Chiplin. Parath Chutani. Alexander Colville. David Crossman. Benjamin Crow. Casper Dancy. Sonyang Ding. Nathan Dixon. Dweyesh Bukraz. Tobias Driscoll Poole. Mohammed El Sadani. Kirim Wail Said Abdulim Al Said. Adam Eliad Ghaffar. Anthony Gueron. Matthew Rees-Grove. Ben Hadlington. Jesse Hardy. Samuel Hayward. Yuhan Hesse. Samuel Hyder. Abdul Barry Ibrahim. Ferdi Mac Ibrahim. Zoe Iden. Una Jenkins. Rashmi J. Sankar. Patrick Frimov Kustov. Edward Petru Jipper. Ainsley Ji Zhong. Yang Chen Kang. Patrick Kata. Arvin Karavi. Duruv Khanna. Samuel Christopher Charles Kitson. Semi Kriachku. Connor Robert Lambert. George Langley. Ethan Latimer. Easy Seth Lau. Harry Leslie. Yiwei Liao. Hin Hang Brian Lowe. Alexander Loder. Oops, sorry. Malinu Ragana Lokumaram Baji. Yingzwan Mai. Skylar Mansfield. Robert Moran. Jess Morris. Jacob Nawachi. Roxanne Niliandi. Chibudu Uwada Mui Oligwoni. Hui Xion Oi. Robert Osborne. Hassan Osashoglu. Reuben Payne. Lorenas Paxtas. Isaac Jack Parkhouse. Aryan Patel. William Ian Percy. Naomi Pitzer. Michael Pollard. Igor Shubatek. Jacob Quinton Hale. Javier Ramos Turns. Jatugoban Ravidandras. Ashley Ray. Benjamin George Rees-Inglis. Adam Robson. Emma Rufiak. Anna Santafionu Monoguiu. Tasyan Santirakumar. Mohammed Saqib Shoel. Arcady Smallwood. Omosade Soyobo. Thomas George Stokes. Melissa Stewart. Chi Yang Sun. Roy Shishan Si. Chek Him Tai. Louisa Taylor. Ashika Tapa. Min Kant Thu. Rosalind Anastasia Lily Thwaites. Jensen Tram. Ethan Daniel Trowbridge. Xiadong Wong. Tyler Ward. Jia Chen Chen Yang. Shaho Zagrossi. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you the following Masters of Engineering. Noor Iman Binti Abdul Rashid. Bethany Jane Alwalia. Mirza Ayaz Baig. Alvis Sam Benny. Chloe Sarah Berto Boateng. Oliver Butler. Daniela Carley. Isaac Allen Day. Josh Owen Douglas. Fernando Miguel Fernandez Arias. Giancarlo Gordula. Okay, thank you. William John Grant. Craig Harvey. Samuel Harry Joseph Hurst. Lucas Kakigianos. Christopher James McQuaker. George Jackson Peppard. Matthew Ramirez Lopez. Sarthak Sharma. Alistair Sermon. Apishan Te Ananthan. Katithan Te Aranthan. Konrad Shemislav Trubecki. Yeda Wang. Paul Lewis Winpenny. William George Wright. Matthew Harry Zone. Angus Allen. Ahmet Khan Binatiglu. Lawrence Adorjan Boer. Ashley Owen Dowell. Precious Ayuli Duraje. Rishita Arun Devedi. Barney Evans. Thomas Edward Evans. Renee Gioreno de Souza. Srinindi Kandakar. Ekash Kumar Lal. Winston McCarthy. Deviraj Notte. Lucas Anthony Sayers. Lucian Junior Serbanescu. James Tidbury. Geethartha Vaga. Ayush Varshni. Orasiki Emmanuel Wennington. Aham Ali Kilani. Marwan At-Tamimi. Akash Aravind Paul Rajan. Rishab Arora. Finlay Atherton. Alexandru Orel Constantin. Isha Fatima. Sophie Harriet Fenton. Oliver Ferrier. Connor James Fitch. Samuel Gardner. Sarah Fatima Jagir Hussain. Sonny Michael Jehan Morrison. Ananya Kadali. Benjamin David Lewis. Dylan Mears. Grace Eve Main. Alexandru George Marginil. Samuel Muddle. Vlad Andrei Pavlescu. Thomas George Pavia. Jacob Charles Sewell. Alicia Marie Sairadsky. Daniel Andrei Krasnovsky Hobbs. Thank you. James Richard Pickford. Pro-Chancellor, I present you the following Masters of Science. Ashley Calvin Eugene Gittens. Rithin Rock Menezes. Parath Yaishik Takar. Arun Kanduja. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you the following Master of Philosophy. Dominic Belcher. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you the following Doctors of Philosophy. For a thesis entitled An Information Security Model for an Internet of Things-enabled smart grid in the Saudi energy sector, Abir Siraj Akkad. For a thesis entitled Facial Profile Recognition Using Comparative Soft Biometrics, Malak Zaid S. Almiri. For a thesis entitled 3D Audiovisual Indoor Scene Reconstruction and Completion for Virtual Reality from a Single Image, Mona Alawada. For a thesis entitled Scalable Network Fingerprinting for IoT Devices, Tadani Nasir A. Al-Ayha. For a thesis entitled Realizing the Benefits of Dynamic DNNs on Reconfigurable Hardware, Anastasios Dimitrou. For a thesis entitled A Trust Framework for Information Sharing, Ryan Mohammed S. Gamri. For a thesis entitled Learning from Protein Data with Protein Language Models, Ioan Irimi. For a thesis entitled Characterizing Embodiment in Multimodal Play for Virtual Reality, Yoan Daniel Grigorov Malinov. For a thesis entitled MPM Model, a cross-platform massive open online course, or MOOC, Performance Monitoring and Measurement Model based on MOOC Learning Analytics, Wan Sazil Nazruddin Saifuddin. For a thesis entitled Towards a Robust and Efficient Traffic Junction Management, Furiwat Warachikpat. For a thesis entitled Temporal Dynamics in Emergent Communication, Olaf Lesek Lipinski. For a thesis entitled Efficient Deep Learning Inference at the Edge, Suleiman Sadiq. For a thesis entitled Explaining the Future Context of Deep Reinforcement Learning Agents Decision-Making, Mark Towers. For a thesis entitled How Technology Can Help Visually Impaired Young Adults Participate in Physical Activity, Ginai di Almeida Fontelle Zadra. For a thesis entitled Advancing Women's Active Travel Safety Through Technological Interventions, Rachel Hayward.
Good evening. I think it's late enough in the day to say good evening. Good to see everybody bearing up in this fine weather. It's a highlight of the year for me to be attending graduating and sitting up here on the platform. It's wonderful to see the happy faces of the students as they come up, and also to hear the clapping and the cheering from the family and supporters in the audience. My name is Michael Butler. I'm Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Physical Sciences, and it's my pleasure to congratulate all of our graduates today on behalf of my colleagues in the faculty. So well done to all of you. So we're very proud of what you have achieved. We know that you've done remarkable things in your time here. And we're also very pleased that you chose to study here at the University of Southampton. We recognise that you've shown great resilience, perseverance, and determination to get through all of those assessments, exams, projects, and so on. The students here today are from the School of Electronics and Computer Science. You will have benefited from the excellent education and mentoring offered by colleagues in the school, and also been exposed to the excellent research undertaking across the school. Indeed, the PhDs who are graduating today will have contributed directly to that research, and we're really grateful for your contributions. Researchers in our schools are increasingly working together to address major societal challenges, including decarbonisation of our economy, technologies for improved health, and making digital technology and artificial intelligence safer and more accessible to all. I'd like to highlight some achievements in the school over the last year. So this year the school launched a new undergraduate degree in artificial intelligence and in computer engineering. And these reflect the unique blend of electronics and computer science at the school. And also the fact that the school is home to the UK's National Centre for Responsible Artificial Intelligence. ECS launched the Hampshire and Sussex Cybercluster in May this year, led jointly by Dr. Basil Hallock from the school with colleagues in 2 local cybersecurity companies, Factory Internet and Inquiring Minds. The Cybercluster brings together academics, businesses and local government to create a thriving local cybersecurity ecosystem. Also from the school, Dr. Stratis Vazelis is working with an Indian solar energy company, Orya Development Solutions, and also the Indian Institute of Technology at Kharagpur to bring accessible energy to remote communities. Their solar-powered systems are enabling marginalised farmers to optimise their water use and empowering energy disadvantaged communities. So you graduate today with skills in science and engineering, but also more broadly, strengthened ability to acquire and apply knowledge to solve real-world problems. These qualities will serve you well in whatever sphere you choose to work in. As you join our university's alumni community, it's important to remember that you will always be a member of the family of the School of ECS. We hope that you stay in touch as you set off on the next stages of your journey of growth and discovery. We're excited to see what lies ahead of you and the difference that we know you will make in the world, as well as the lives of those who surround you. So congratulations to you all.
Graduates, well done. Congratulations to you all. It's nearly the end of the formal part of the day. You've had your moment on the stage, and now you've got much to do. Celebrating with friends, with families, photos to take and glasses to raise, I'm sure. So I'm going to keep this part of the ceremony as brief as possible. But while this is very much your day, graduates, let's think about the people who've been there for you along the way. That's your family, your friends, fellow students, and your tutors, some of whom may well be here today. Let's take a moment to thank them. We've all enjoyed being here to celebrate each and every one of you. And as we gather today, you may already have embarked on the next phase of your lives, on your way to becoming valued contributors to our society in whatever walk of life you select. You're joining people who are actively working on the climate crisis, people who are teaching and researching, creating, making, leading businesses, fighting for social justice and helping to save lives. You're joining thousands of Southampton graduates who are making a difference every single day. This alumni community is invaluable. Use it, do learn from others, make connections, and keep in touch. And do please keep a bond with your university. Share in our successes and feel a sense of pride and connection when you see University of Southampton on a LinkedIn profile, social media channel, or wherever. And please consider giving back as well. Becoming a mentor, for example, is a wonderful way of ensuring that another Southampton student can benefit from your experience. But most importantly, that alumni community is there to support you. You're never alone in your endeavours. So let me finish by saying thank you, graduates. Thank you for your hard work, your dedication, and your bright minds. Thank you for all that you are going to go on to do. And finally, it's time to give yourselves a big round of applause to celebrate your achievements. And please make lots of noise. Well done. Thank you. I now formally declare this ceremony closed.